This is episode 321 of the Beyond the Food Show, and today I'm going to talk about the illusion of eating better and the flip side of this illusion, which is eating confidently. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Going Beyond the Food Show. I'm Stephanie Dozier, clinical nutritionist and creator of the Going Beyond the Food method. And after a 25-year dieting career that started at the age of 12, I decided to say hell no to diet culture and undiet my life. It is now my mission to help women undiet their life. If you're new to our podcast, be sure to grab our free podcast roadmap at stephaniedozier.com/roadmap. Ready, sisters? Let's do this. Hello, sisters, and welcome back. I must say, you guys, for those of you who follow me on Instagram and Facebook, we had so much fun in the last few days. I showed people my pantry. So if you've not listened yet to episode 320, you will understand once you listen to that. So anyway, I showed videos and pictures of my pantry and also empty shelves. And collectively, we pull people in the audience and we decided what we're going to do with the empty shelves. I love the ideas that you shared, and I've decided to use that space that was filled with wellness culture food. I'm going to use that space to actually display photos of my trip, which I think is the perfect analogy to where my relationship to food is. I'm going to fill the space that food was taken in my life with picture of me living my dream life. I think this is such a cool analogy. Like living this lifestyle for me of travel and work and contributing to women's life through Undiet Your Life, that has been a dream of mine since my late 30s. But at that time, all my resources, my time, my mental energy, mental space, money was dedicated to, quote, fixing myself, fixing my body, which meant using food for other purposes that it was meant to be. So in a way, I was trying to accumulate what I thought was going to make me feel better, which was wellness culture food, in the space in my home, instead of pursuing my dream. Today, it's the pursuit of my dream that are using the resources in my life instead of trying to fix myself with my body and food. And that's the result of Undieting Your Life. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why it's in my bones and my DNA to share this powerful transformation of Undieting Your Life with all of you. And I get excited when I get to share some visual of this transformation, like my pantry and my shelves and my kitchen with you. So thank you to the person who suggested to use that space to display photos of my travel. It's going to be a great reminder for myself of the wins that I had, that I continue to have in my life. And I just want to say, I'm not special. I'm not unique either to have been able to have done this transformation. All of you can do this. I'm just a human, identified as a woman, which is just a few steps ahead of you. I do have a gift of communication, thanks to the corporate world. I do have a gift of coaching, again, thanks to the corporate world. And that allows me to use my experience of the last 10 years to help other women liberate themselves from dieting and diet culture and create the same result in their life. That's the only difference between us, is my ability to communicate and coach. You have your own special gift that you can use to contribute to the world. Those are mine. That's why I'm here. But beyond that, I'm just a woman like you. But I'm on a mission to get all of you, all my clients, at the same place where I am, to access your dream, whatever they might be, your happiness. And as I was going through my journey of undieting my life, of accessing my undieted life, one of the things that I had to get myself over was the illusion of eating better. And that's what I would like to share with you today and try to understand why we fantasize about eating better. And I believe, based on the hundreds of women I've coached and my own lived experience, we fantasize about eating better because somewhere inside of us, we think that there is a better. The better place that we fantasize about, we think it's going to give us the relief of the low-grade fear, anxiety, depression we currently feel about our life and about our current eating pattern. And we fantasize about eating better because it gives us a hit of dopamine in that moment. The moment that we're in the fantasy of thinking that when we find that eating better state, we will feel better. It's very similar to the fantasy of the thin ideal, right? When we were dieting and losing weight, thinking that when we get to that smaller body, we will access happiness, confidence, health. But that fantasy of the thin ideal got cracked open, right? You don't believe in that likely if you're listening to this podcast. And the thin ideal was not the only fantasy that diet culture is using to lead women to disempowerment. There's another one, the fantasy of eating better. And it's yet again reinforcing that what we do innately, naturally, is not good enough. So we fantasize about eating better because we hope that when we eat better, when we get through this last phase of intuitive eating and we get to gentle nutrition and health, we will finally feel the relief that we've been hoping for. We hope to feel, and I'm going to say fill the blank here, empty space, fill the blank, put your emotion that you hope to feel. That it is happiness, joy, confidence. So the feeling of confidence that we hope for must be on the other side of eating better. We think this way, not because something is wrong with us or with our brain. We think like this because diet culture taught us that when we, quote, get there, thin ideal, eat better, that's what will allow us to feel better and be better. What makes us feel better is never external to us. That's the problematic with diet culture and dieting and shrinking our body or achieving optimum health. It doesn't work. What creates the feeling of better or whatever feeling you're trying to achieve is internal. It's the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about our ability to know what's good for us, our ability to eat, our ability to make choices for ourselves. Here's the thing. How we do one thing is how we do everything. That's one of the base principles of human behavior. That's one of the base principles of coaching, right? That's what we do inside of my program. We coach using some of the base principle of psychology and neuroscience. And one of them is how we do one thing is how we do everything, because our brain is focused on conserving energy and stay safe. That's the role of our brain. So our brain is focused on conserving energy by adopting the most successful thinking pattern that has proven to be successful up to now in our life. It's a very simple process. The brain doesn't reinvent something that you weren't successful at, although you may have been miserable through whatever thinking pattern you had before. And I'm going to give you some example coming up. But to the brain, it kept you safe. You're still alive. So success. So how we do one thing is how we do everything. And it starts by our thoughts, because our thoughts creates our feeling, and our feeling creates our action. So how you resolved a problem in your life is likely how you resolve problem in other part of your life. So when you get to the stage of intuitive eating, of gentle nutrition, of re-entering the space of taking care of your body and making choice for yourself, if left unchecked, your brain's going to adopt the same thinking pattern as it did when you were dieting for the last, 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your life. And for most women, because the way they engage in intuitive eating and body image work isn't from a place of including the way they think, their thinking pattern are left unchecked. So they get to gentle nutrition and health and going beyond the food, the name of my company, by the way, going beyond the food, and they get stuck because they haven't checked in on their thinking patterns. So they keep repeating what they've done in the past, but it doesn't work with gentle nutrition. So in a way, think about it like you haven't cleaned up yet how you think about health and nutrition, and you look outside of you for the authority of how you should be doing this next stage of liberation from dieting, just like you did with diet culture. But it's never going to work, because the only authority that knows what is best for you is you. No one else. So how we do one thing is how we do everything. So if you're still, for an example, experiencing the thought error of black and white thinking, you're still looking for the quote unquote right way, right? The way out of that is self-authorization. It's a coaching concept that I teach, which is learning to authorize yourself. That's how we unlearn diet culture at the thought pattern level. We learn to authorize ourselves. And here's a question for you. How many other places in your life beyond food and body, think your career, relationship, family, passions, how many other places in your life are you limiting yourself by looking for the quote right way outside of you? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Think of people pleasing through conformity, right? If you are looking around you to find safety in eating because you want to eat like other people, so you don't, quote, stand out, because standing out is uncomfortable and unsafe, then you're still thinking like you were in diet culture, people pleasing and conforming to other people. But there's like the problem with gentle nutrition. It's about learning to have the authority over your own food, body, and life. Like the last step is life. Because your body is different, and what your body needs, it's never going to be like everyone else around you. So as long as you don't correct this error in thinking, you will be stuck. For some of you, I've heard that so many times on coaching call. My clients will say, but Stephanie, it just happened with hunger and fullness. I don't understand why it just doesn't happen with gentle nutrition. Just fair, right? You don't know how you created the authority to respect your hunger and your fullness, which then creates the problem with gentle nutrition, because you don't know how you did it with hunger and fullness. You don't know what to do with gentle nutrition, and you keep waiting for it to just happen. You keep having the illusion, at some point I'll just eat better. But I'm going to tell you how it, quote, just happened. It didn't just happen. You borrowed thinking pattern, you borrowed thoughts from other people. And there's a lot of thoughts to borrow on social media, right? Or in books. There's tons of books now in 2022 that talks about intuitive eating. I've got a number of friends who wrote books that weren't available 5 years ago. Now they're available. So you read the book, you watched the social media, you listened to podcasts, you borrowed thoughts from everyone. The problem now at this last stage of intuitive eating, of undieting your life, there's not that many thoughts to borrow. Because nobody talks about gentle nutrition because it's so individualized. There's not a lot of conversation about gentle nutrition on social media, even in books. So you don't have any thoughts to borrow. So you're stuck. Maybe, I'm inviting you to think, maybe it's time to learn to create your own thoughts and belief, to become the authority over your own life. And that's going to end the confusion also between eating healthier with eating better. That's another big thought errors that we have, because we think eating better means healthier. Because we think that there is a healthier way of eating than another. And because we naturally, as women, think that we can't innately know what's better. We don't have this authority. We need to look outside of us and hope there's going to be a guru somewhere that's going to know how to fix us and tell us exactly what we need to do. Sound familiar? But here's the thing. There is no healthier way of eating than others. Let me repeat this. I'm a clinical nutritionist, and I'm here to tell you there's no healthier way of eating than other way. There's as many ways of eating that there is human. And not one is better than others. There's your way of eating that is best for you. And there's no guide to find the right way of eating for you. There's no paper, there's no PDF. There's one tool. The roadmap to your way of eating that is best for you is your self-trust. It's your ability to trust you, the skill set that you need to reacquire to trust your body, to trust that your brain is thinking the right thoughts, that your emotions are just right for you, and that you're taking the right action for you. That you are able to make the best possible choice for you as a unit. That's another truth that we need to integrate in our brain. When we talk about you, when we talk about us, we're not talking about just the physical body. Just that, like, pinch your tissue right now, pinch your skin. I'm not talking about just that part of you. I'm talking about the intangible part of you. Your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, and yes, that layer of physical body as well. So when I say that you need to trust you, your brain, your body to make the best choice possible for you, I'm thinking about the whole you. Self-trust is knowing and accepting your innate capacity to make choices that is going to be the best choices for you as a whole. And I'm hearing your brain right now saying, but I'm different. Stephanie, that's not me. I can't do that. Can you hear your brain say that, some of you? That's totally normal. That's your primitive brain. That's your safety brain. Nothing has gone wrong. That's your brain trying to keep you safe right now. I'm going to give you more thoughts right now. You ready? Self-trust, it's knowing and accepting your innate capacity to make choices. And that may look like eating chips to relieve your anxiety about the problem with your partner without guilt or shame. Self-trust is maybe the eating when you're not hungry because you won't have access to food and you need to eat to take care of your body. Otherwise, you're going to be too hungry and your blood sugar is going to drop. Trusting yourself is eating vegetable right, not because you want to, but because you know your body needs it. But you're going to add tablespoons of butter and a whole bunch of spices that you truly enjoy to make the experience of eating vegetable more satisfactory. Trusting yourself is maybe not eating legumes. Although it makes a lot of other people feel great, it doesn't work for you. Self-trust is what diet culture taught us wasn't good enough to rely on. And diet culture came like a Prince Charming on his white horses saying, no, I know better. I know how to save you. There's nobody that can save us but us. That's why I say self-trust is a woman's superpower for a multitude of reasons. But number one, because it's the one thing that scares the living shit of oppressive system when women trust themselves. Because oppressive systems are aimed at disempowering us. But when we trust ourselves, we're unstoppable. When we are in a state of self-trust, we have clarity. We have clarity to know what, when, and how to eat. But most important, we have clarity to know what we want for our life and what we don't want globally. When we are in a state of self-trust, we know what is right for us, and we don't need anyone to confirm that it is right for us. When we are in a state of self-trust, we express ourselves freely. We label our emotion. We say our emotion. We share our emotion. We're able to receive other people's emotion without drama. When we are in a state of self-trust, we know how to take care for ourselves. We know how to take care of our health, of our physical health, mental health, emotional health. But most important, when we are in a state of self-trust, we chase our dreams. And when women chase their dream, they impact the whole world. We do beautiful things when women chase their dream. When we trust ourselves, we eat with confidence, which is the ultimate end state of intuitive eating. Confidently eating is the default state of human who have never restricted. They eat confidently without knowing they eat confidently because they just eat. But when we learn and when we get to that state of confidence with food and eating, we also become confident with the rest of our life. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. Because when you know how to be confident with food and body, you know how to create confidence everywhere else in your life. Confidence and trust are the magical superpower of women. We only stop fantasizing about the illusion of eating better when we can coach ourselves back to the state of self-trust. It's there within you, but you're disconnected from it because of the time spent in diet culture. That's what we do in Undiet Your Life. We teach women the tools to build self-trust so they understand how to create confidence with food and body and then the rest of their life. We coach women to create a better life using the container of food and body, but then it expands very quickly to chasing your dream. That's why when you read some of the testimonial on Undiet Your Life, they highlight how much their whole life changed. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. If you're ready to create that in your life, come and join us and we'll create that together. I'll see you on the next podcast. Beyond ready to shed diet culture from your life and become the expert at your own body? Awesome. Then you need to join Undiet Your Life program. Go to stephaniedodier.com/join and join us now. Undiet Your Life is the first program of its kind with the unique combination of mindset, life coaching with intuitive eating and body image. Find your freedom, reclaim your power, and take control of your time so you can refocus on what really matters to you. Join Undiet Your Life at stephaniedodier.com/join, and I'll see you on the other side.